Today we're going to be talking about 4 potential busts in 2026 fantasy baseball. The first player I would be selling coming into the 2026 season is Byron Buxton, and it really has nothing to do with his on-field performance, which is really unfortunate. Last season, he played 126 games, he hit 35 home runs, stole 24 bases. It honestly probably was his best season in the majors. He had a 264 average and also got on base at a 327 clip. Now, like I said, this has nothing to do with his on-field performance. Next season, he'll be another year older. He's coming off of his best season really ever. He probably is a guy that you should fade coming into this 2026 season. His biggest issue was staying on the field and actually playing a full season. And he didn't even do it last year and still played really well. But 126 games is actually a huge uptick for Byron Buxton. In 2026, he's being drafted as a top 75 player, to where in 2025 he was being drafted almost outside of the top 200 players. I think his ADP is just too high going into this season, and he could get hurt and completely bottom out in 2026. Now, if all things do go right for Byron Buxton and he stays healthy, it could be a solid pick at 75, but I feel like there's not much room to grow up from pick 75 for Byron Buxton, so I think this is a sell going into next season. At number 2, I do have the first pitcher on the list. It is going to be Nick Pivetta. He did pitch in 31 games last year, stayed healthy, had 13 wins, and also added 19 quality starts, which is awesome. An awesome season in 2025. He also had a great ERA, great whip, 2.87 ERA, and a .99 whip, which is awesome for a frontline starter. Now, looking at his underlying numbers, his expected ERA last season was 3.99 compared to his actual 2.87 ERA. Also, his K percentage has been on the decline now for the past several years. I think he could possibly regress back towards that 3.99 ERA as was expected last season. And if we jump over to his StatCast page, you can see his expected ERA last season, 3.99. And then in 2024 and 2023, he had an ERA over 4. So just by looking at the StatCast page, I can definitely see regression in his ERA. He also tallied 13 wins in 2025, which is repeatable considering he's still on the Padres. For a pitcher that's now 32 years old, I think it might be hard to get back to 13 wins, and definitely will be hard to get back to 19 quality starts. And moving to number 3 on this list, I do have Freddie Peralta, another starting pitcher. He pitched in 33 games last year, which was great. 17 wins with the Brewers, also added 13 quality starts. So all of that looks awesome. He also contributed 2.7 ERA and a 1.08 whip, which is great for a frontline starter. Peralta has been a hot topic as of late. He was just recently traded to the New York Mets, so he will definitely slide in as their number 1 starter in New York. In 2025, he probably had his best year of his career. His ERA dropped to 2.7, which he had never reached before. And I definitely expect these numbers to regress. No matter what team you're on, 17 wins is pretty hard to repeat. He had 12 wins in 2023 and 11 wins in 2024 on good Brewers teams. And I do expect the Mets to be good in 2026, but 17 wins, again, is pretty hard to replicate. And you can see when going over to his StatCast page, he did have a 2.7 ERA in 2025. It was expected to be 3.43 throughout the season last year. And if we look at 2024 and 2023, his ERA was 3.6, 3.8, so definitely a lot higher than in 2025. His wins also ticked up a bunch from 2023 and 2024. The whip for Freddie Peralta is also a concern. In 2025, it went all the way down to 1.08. Just in 2024, it was 1.21, which is definitely on the higher side for a top starting pitcher. And with Freddie Peralta going off the board as the 16th pitcher in 2026, I think this is a clear sell high in 2026. And the fourth player on my current list of sells is Jose Altuve. Now, he did play 155 games in 2025. He hit 26 home runs, stole 10 bases, which is a great season out of a second baseman. He also hit 265 with a 329 on base percentage. And these statistics are awesome. I'm not sure exactly where the power surge came. If we look at his StatCast page, his hard hit and his exit velocities are extremely low for the production he actually had last season. And considering he's 35 years old and the metrics continue to decline, I think the skills will also continue to diminish as he gets older. Now, on Altuve's StatCast page, it is pretty ice cold. His expected batting average was 237 last season. Expected on base percentage was only 300. And his sprint speed also is not that great for a smaller second baseman type player. It's just not what you want out of a second baseman. And going back to 2023 and 2024, he only hit 17 home runs and 20 home runs in 2024. Altuve's hard hit percentage and bat speed were actually lower this season, where he hit 26 homers, than in 2023 and 2024. So I'm not sure. It might have been a little bit fluky in 2025 for him to hit 26 home runs. And that's why I think you should be selling Altuve as we go into the 2026 fantasy season. Now, that does wrap up my 4 best sells for the 2026 season. If you did enjoy the video and are enjoying the content, please like the video, subscribe down below for much more fantasy baseball content to come before the season starts. I am really looking forward to the World Baseball Classic starting, which I'll definitely have content on soon, and also just getting into positional rankings and draft strategy. I'm going to have a lot of fun with all of that in the near future. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment. Who is your biggest sell going into the 2026 fantasy season?